Hi Piano Cats, my name is Denis Zhdanov and today's video is dedicated to an interpretational issue. Many people believe that decrescendo and diminuendo are just synonyms. And that's true, but not really. In fact, those are synonyms nowadays, but those terms were used differently by some composers, and knowing how exactly might help you to build a more convincing interpretation. To find an answer, we need to dig a bit deeper in smart books about music. For example, Robert Levin, a well-known specialist in historical performance practice, explains how those terms were used by Schubert. From 1975 onward, the general preface printed in each volume of the Neue Schubert Ausgabe, the new Schubert edition, contains the following paragraph. As a rule, Schubert distinguishes clearly between the indications ritardando, becoming slower, decrescendo, becoming softer, and diminuendo, bingo, becoming slower and softer. The latter is frequently followed, as in ritardando, by a tempo. It means that after diminuendo, in Schubert you might actually see a tempo. Ritardando and diminuendo thus appear in the Neue Schubert Ausgabe as tempo indications. And then he also mentions that diminuendo is used by Schubert at the end of a section, where becoming slower might be helpful to show that the section is about to round up. Now let's look at the impromptu in F minor of Schubert and see how Schubert uses those indications and how this knowledge may benefit us. For example, in bars 39 through 45 we have an impressive climax followed by a decrescendo, then piano, then pianissimo, and finally a new section which traditionally is performed slower, since it has just a very different and intimate character. So it sounds like that. And so on. Due to that, we would really need to take our time and to slow down a little bit in the bar right before the new section, because we obviously need to react on such a modulation and character change. But if we slow down too early, the transition from the climax to the new section will be way too long and boring. Now that was definitely too much, especially because we are just in the beginning of this 10-minute long piece. So in this case, the decrescendo warns us not to slow down while getting softer. So we might then stretch the time where it is really necessary, namely 2 bars later. The same principle works for the later section. In bar 90, we have a quick decrescendo, because playing diminuendo, in other words, slowing down, would destroy the natural flow of this very long section. It would also bring some sentimentality in this piece. In this, for the first time in this 3-page long section, Schubert uses diminuendo in its ratio point, namely when the initial theme is returning, but in the shockingly restrained major key instead of a minor. So let's quickly check out how actually Schubert is doing that. The first subsection of this section exposes a new theme in minor. And finally, shortly after that, our theme is returning, but in a major key. And to enhance this contrast, Schubert finally allows us to slow down, to use a diminuendo instead of decrescendo. So we are officially allowed to stretch time here. And in the end of the section, as you might have already guessed, we also have a diminuendo. Furthermore, Schubert indicates precisely where to do it. So we have 3 goodbye, arrivederci, adieu motifs. And Schubert indicates a diminuendo during the second one, so we won't slow down too early, let's say on the first one. So as you see, he really tries to reach the finest balance of all elements, including rallentando and any time stretching. Please do remember that every unnecessary slowdown distracts a lot and breaks a long piece into many shorter segments, making the comprehension more difficult. Basically, this is one of the main reasons why we find somebody's playing boring or irritating sometimes. I hope that this video helped you to discover something new about the endless world of music. Have fun playing piano and see you next time.